you should do a millennial thing. We got a, we got some millennials that want to get some information about what we're doing. And so, we were going to do that. Right. And push come to shove, it didn't happen. And so that next week we're going to do something. And, I talked to Brother Ashaar about it. And next thing you know, it was like, we should do a call for the millennials. Got the okay from Mr. Best. And next thing you know, Secure the Bag was in place. And all it is a platform for people, not just millennials, because, we like I said, we grandmother Dr. Knight in there, but we, but it's a place for everybody to just have a conversation about how to build wealth, a conversation about business, about what's going on in the mindset of not only our generation, but the baby boomer generation, talking about, money and different things that affect us in business and this phenomenal G999 blockchain. I mean, all these different things, guys. I mean, it's just an amazing space, and it's definitely grown. And so I'm just honored and privileged to be rocking it out with Dr. Cousin. So.
You never know where you're going to end up.
And so again, listen, we are just excited. And just to set the record straight, Mr. Taylor, millennials go all the way up to 41. So for all of my 41-year-olds on the platform, you are a millennial as well. So listen, of course, I have some exciting news because, we've always been hinting around, but the birthday is coming around really quick. So I'm excited about that. All right. And so,
what birthday you talking about, cousin? What birthday you talking about?
Hey, what you mean? I'm talking about my birthday. Yes, this millennial's birthday is coming up in December. And so I'm excited about it. You all will be hearing about it because that virtual party is going to be taking place and you all will be invited. Yes, you're going to be invited.
And maybe virtual to everybody else, but I'm going to be there in the press. I'm going to be like, where the crab legs, where the shrimp.
For everybody on Facebook, we welcome you here. Welcome to Secure the Bag. I know you've been hearing us talking about millennials and talking about food and what brought us here. But this is a session that takes place every Thursday, 7:00 p.m. Eastern time. And you don't have to be a millennial. You can truly be someone who wants to secure your bag, your wealth, right? Your legacy. That's what we're talking about. Because, listen, I shared an image with a group of our partners, right? In a little group that we have, and was talking about inflation and how inflation is on the rise. See, we got some real issues. We have some serious, really serious issues going on with the economy today. Most people are not informed about it, or they see it and they believe, oh, it's going to go away, or that they may believe that they don't have control over any aspect of it. But the truth is you want to inform yourself. You want to become educated, right? We speak about education. We get education in the formal institution, right? Going to college and getting all these degrees, and we don't remember half of the content that they shared with us anyway. But listen, you want to learn.
Well, you lying. It ain't even half because it's half of a half of a half.
I went to school for political science. I'm like, well, what did I remember from political science? Okay, went to school for psychology. Now that may be applicable. I have to put a little debate in on that one. Understanding the psychology of the minds of people and how we work together as a system. Now that's important. That's important there. But for most people, depending on the degrees that you got from these institutions, it carried along with it debt. Right? Debt that most people don't even pay back before they pass on and leave this world. And so that is where the issue comes in, because now you're trying to figure out, how am I going to pay off all this debt? How am I truly going to live life?
All right, King, I got that 38 for you.
How are you going to truly live life because of all the debt that you have to take care of? But listen, what we want to do, fam, we want to encourage you all to mute your line just for a second for some rules. So I see Mr. Lorenzo, hate to shout you out, my brother, but if you can mute your line, that will be helpful. All right. We want to make sure that as we move forward with tonight's session and every one of our sessions, that everyone can hear one another. All right. And that, you know, if you want to have something you want to share as we're moving along in the dialogue, you want to raise your hand. There's a little option to raise your hand, a part of this. And so we encourage you to do that. But with that being said, listen, Mr. Taylor, what is it that you have to say about this inflation? Because I know you have some things to say about it.
What don't I have to say about it?
Right.
Look, my cousin knows me like since I got in the financial space. And it was funny because if you think about it, cousin, how long ago when we somehow still ended up in the same place. This is how amazing it is, this whole journey. You remember, cousin, all those years back, we somehow ran into each other at a Robert Kiyosaki seminar. You remember that?
Yes. We're talking about real estate. It was like, oh, we're gonna get into the real estate.
Man, look, what year was that? I can't even remember. Like,
that might have been about 9 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, right. And so Robert Kiyosaki was talking about, you know, things were going to shift and the stock markets were going to crash and, you know, guns, gold, grub, and all that kind of stuff. Right. I had a little notion about some of that stuff, but that was definitely an eye opener because it's like the economy is going to shift. You need to, you know, get prepared and all that kind of stuff. And so that was, I knew about some stuff, but that was definitely a catapult because I had been in the financial space anyway. And so I was able to see firsthand people losing money in the stock market. I was able to see firsthand people that were, you know, wiped out because of what happened with mortgage-backed securities and all that kind of stuff in 2008, transitioning to when I actually got in the sector in 2012. Nobody ever really recovered, right? Most people were like, oh yeah, you know, the recovery and things are going back. No, the markets honestly never fully crashed in 2008. Most people don't even know that.
Wait a minute, hold on, because I don't think they heard that. Most people believe it did.
No, here's what happened, cousin. If we go back to 1913, look, we go back to all the way to the Federal Reserve, right? Every time they interfered with something, they end up making it worse. So fast forward that to 2008, right? There was a market crash. 2000, we'll even go back 8 years before that. We had the dot-com bust, right? Everybody about dot-com this, dot-com that. That was a crash.
Right.
2008 was about the mortgage-backed securities, right? The derivatives and all that kind of stuff. That was crashing, right? But guess what happened? There was a bailout. And one of the companies that I worked for a couple of years later, well-known company that everybody knows, but right? Was one of those players in that event, right? Was bailed out, all that kind of stuff. Right. So when we're talking about banks that were too big to fail, we're fast forwarding that to now, right? So things crashed, you know, things started to recover a little bit, right? But it never fully crashed because there was interference. Well, if you remember last year in 2020 in March, cousin, the markets were actually starting to crash again. And it's all like, oh, here it comes. Psych. The Fed got involved again.
What did they do?
They primed the pump. What is priming the pump? They flooded the markets with trillions of dollars. If you look at our debt clock right now, 28 trillion.
Yeah.
Guys, all they're doing is constantly flooding the market with paper. Now, here's why inflation is just starting to hit, right? And why we're not in hyperinflation right now. You have to understand that there's a psychology to all this. But before I get into that, cousin, I first want to shout out to all the veterans out there.
Let's do that because it is that day, right? Veterans Day.
Shout out to all the veterans. You know, thank you for your service. We appreciate you. You know, I joined the military. Pops was a Marine. As far as I got is I'm an Eagle Scout. So, you know, I know a little something about a little something.
And I'm married to an Army vet. So
right,
you know,
right. Shout out to Crypto Keith.
Yeah, that's right. Crypto Keith. You already know.
Yes. And so just in honor of Veterans Day as well, as we continue, I want to bring about a brother to join us on the platform in our conversation, because we had these conversations like every other day, and we'd be talking for hours, and I'd be like, all right, man, look, I got to go to bed. You need to get some sleep, you know. But I want to include my brother Joshua Moore. thank you so much for your service. He is a vet and a millennial. You know, this boy, this dude younger than me, but you would have thought he lived 3 lives by now. Well, he be talking. So.
Oh man, no, that's what. I guess thank you for the welcome, and I'll be in Virginia for my Veterans Day free meal. So I'm looking forward to it. But no, I really appreciate y'all for having me. It's an honor, and hey man, it's been a journey. And as Mr. Taylor said, yeah, we've been, what's a good word? Conversing about the inflated ego of America for months now. And it's been, the signs have always been there.
Yep.
But now there are less distractions in our face that have kind of been throwing stuff at us a little faster than we thought it would happen. But those of us that have, I won't say established ourselves, but laid that foundation to be prepared for this, we should be happy. Because with what we've been building on, we're building the foundation on something that's going to get us away from it. Yeah, we'll see it happen. But the true goal is to not let it affect what we allow to happen to us. And that's why I'm truly grateful to become a part of this organization, as well as have the mentorship, as well as that family atmosphere that everyone here provides for me. So yeah, it's been a pleasure and a journey. I'll say that.
Ooh, the one remarkable thing about this time of the year with Veterans Day is, thinking about, that one word, which is sacrifice. And we've been talking about this over, with the power call early this morning with some of our leaders. And that word right there is huge, because I don't believe that many people know the sacrifice that men and women have made as it pertains to just this country or the country that they represent. That's huge in a big way, because you're laying your life down on behalf of other people you don't even know. You have no clue about, you really don't know, but you're doing it in honor. Now, most people do it in honor of the country. Now, people have their own reasons why they join and be involved with the military, their own reasons for it, right? But for those of you who truly join for the sake of sacrifice and representing this country, we honor you. For those who have passed on, and I know that many of you have people, relatives who have passed on as a result of serving the country. We appreciate you. We thank you, for being connected to those leaders, those men and women who sacrificed their lives. And then those of you who are still here, survivors of any type of, event that you've had to represent the country on behalf of, any wars or situations where you went to other countries. We don't know. We can only imagine the images that still comes through your mind throughout each and every day. And we're praying for you. We really, really are, because we know the detrimental effects that it can have. PTSD, depression, all types of things that can really impact your life as you're moving forward from that. And so again, we appreciate you. We're praying for you. We're praying for your family. And everybody else, of course, that's connected in your future, because you're still here. So again, thank you so very much. Of course, Josh, thank you so very much for all that you're doing. And I know your wife is just, I know she's just, look, if you look at him, you think about Josh, you know that his wife has to be strong. So I just be like, whoo, yeah. So we appreciate you. We thank you so very much. And look, that wisdom that allowed you to say, you know what, I gotta lay a foundation after getting out, and serving the country. That's huge by itself. For all of you who know people who are veterans, listen, let them know that there is a better way. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to reach out, to those who have exited the military. Let them know that there is a better. We have a lot of people within Wealth Builders Worldwide who have served. And so we have the better way. And that's why we're so excited. That's why we do streams like this. And we do have a specific topic in mind for tonight. And so I'm going to, of course, really allow Mr. Taylor here just to share with you what our topic is focusing in on, so you can get in on this discussion. So, Mr. Taylor.
All right. And I just want to say to curtail that freedom.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Like, I mean, that's it. Like, if you think about it, and
Yes.
you know, I've been to a few countries, but I can only like the military. I know they go everywhere,
Yes.
and to see, you know, I encourage every American to definitely go overseas just to see how other people live. We are truly blessed. Like, that's real talk. Like, I know we complain about America, we complain about our government, but we have more freedoms than a lot of other people do.
Okay.
The fact that we on this chat tonight and go ahead and secure our bag, you know, because there's some country they be looking like, oh, what you doing
See,
with the Bitcoin?
here's the element of it all. You know, I remember my travels in Africa, and I went to a hotel. You think that everything like they have what we have. That's what you would think, right? But you had to wait to certain times of the day to get hot water. And I was sitting here and I was like, wait a minute now, I need a shower. You know?
Nah, that come later on in the day.
Right. Oil. I'm like, look, where's the hot water? I'm going to the front desk. I'm like, where's the hot water? So I know my cousin can only imagine how my mindset was. It was an eye opener for me. Cause I'm like, well, hold on.
The little things we take for granted are hot commodities around the world.
Come on. Yes, that's what it is. It's a commodity to have hot water. So the next time you sit there and let your hot water run, I want you to think about the people in Africa who may not have that same opportunity to have running water. They got to wait to a time of the day to have hot water. And I know we shift the gear a little bit, but
we're not trying to go there because I can talk about the water crisis that people not talking about. That's a commodity all by itself.
Hey, look, I did 2 tours in Africa, and each time I got my mind blown. So it was 2 completely different experiences to the same country, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
there's a lot of stuff, and it all goes back just, you know, when we have an opportunity. And I'm not going to speak on anybody in particular or, you know, try to throw anybody under the bus, but we take a lot of things for granted in America. Yeah. And I know I went into the military extremely young. I was 17, hothead. And when I started going overseas and truly seeing what it like people were going through, and I came back and I'm just like, you know, you step into your first little convenience store and people are arguing with cashiers and clerks over change. And it's just like, man, if I told you what I just saw, your perspective on that little 25 cents you want back would change a lot. But, you know, that's one thing I was glad to have learned at an early age is, you know, enjoy the little things because no one is promised tomorrow.
Yes.
Just the fact that both our feet got out of bed this morning, we're blessed.
Yes, we are.
So, you know, looking at society and everything, yeah, it gets very depressing. You know, it can trigger PTSD for some people or severe anxiety for other people, but you know, build your mental, like stop paying attention to what everybody else is doing. What are you doing to truly not only accept yourself and get to know yourself, but to move forward and establish something for yourself? That's really the goal everyone should work towards. But like I said, that's just my personal opinion.
Man, look, I'm glad you said that, brother, because that's exactly what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about the psychology of the consumer versus having the fourth quarter mindset. Like if you think about the psychology of the consumer, right? I was doing some homework before we came up here. Do you realize that per person, I think it was they're projecting. So last year, actually, in 2019, no, okay, 2 years ago, actually, every person spent $998 for Christmas. $998 per person. And the projection is supposed to go 8.5% this year, greater, right? So that's about $1,000 and some change. But per household is about $1,500. We're sharing with people how to take $65 and open up 37 streams of income. But people are taking $1,500 to go broke in January.
Yeah. And it's a mindset, like you said. It's a simple mindset. You know, if people realize, you know, think about this whole time, all the months that have transpired as we were in the midst of this crisis. And that's a whole nother topic, right?
We ain't even gonna go there because
they
got football tonight. They got football tonight with 100,000 people, but we in a crisis, right?
You can choose to be in the crisis.
Distractions are
Let me
they're
just say that.
serious.
Choose to be in the crisis or choose not to be. I mean, literally, you know, you either are going to fire every one of the employees you have, which is the dollars, or you're going to hire them, fire or hire. It's a simple decision, and it's all about the disposable dollars you have. If we think about every dollar that comes into our households, what are you doing with it? How can you account for it? Right? And like I said, $49 worth of Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Tether, of course, plus some extra fees.
Look, I just call it 60. I'd be laughing with Josh all the time. Like, you be like, is it 65, Matthew? 67? Just make
No,
I'd be like,
you ain't
look,
gonna throw me under the bus. You told me 65. 13 signups later, it turned into 67. So I tell everybody $70. I get you
gotta
right.
pay attention to what Bitcoin is doing. When it's going up, I'm like, all right, 67, John.
But you know, that's the crazy thing. People are so concerned about money, they don't pay attention to the trends of money, crypto, or just inflation in general. I had a talk with someone today. The only thing he knew about inflation, and this is his words, not mine. Yeah, I saw something where President Biden acknowledged this is the highest inflation it's been in 30 years. And then he went on to talk about the agenda he's pulling out in January. And I'm just like, you know, I wasn't trying to crush anybody, but I don't watch news. You know, if I want to have negativity in my life, I'll go find it myself. Yeah. If I'm just going to let someone else tell me, you know, hey, we're going to give you money, even though it's just a piece of paper that don't mean anything. Because at this point, America's almost to the point to where that monopoly set money is going to be worth more than those green dollars.
I'm telling you, look, I used to do streets all the time. This ain't nothing but monopoly money. Like, and you know, when and you're saying something it's very interesting, sir, because if you think about all that's happening, and I've talked about this before, but think about last year. What was going on last year that was happening right about now, right? And like America looked like it was about to, you know, be World War II in America. Like, they stormed the Capitol. But as soon as you turn on a football game or a basketball game, everybody seemed to calm down. But here's the thing. Everything always, history has a tendency to repeat itself. We're only doing what Rome did. Yep. They had the gladiators to distract the masses so they wouldn't paying attention to all the laws and the changes that are happening going on in the background. Like somebody had to tell, in fact, my mama had to tell me what's going on in January. She was like, oh, you know what's happening January 4th? I was like, no. I was like, is that the 4th of July? I was like, you know, this happened to the 1st. I don't know. It's New Year. They're talking about a mandatory vaccine. I was like, You do.
I found out because of you, Mr. Taylor. So you know where I'm at.
And it's the thing, like, people don't realize that's dealing with freedom. What we're doing is dealing with freedom. What you guys don't realize is this is warfare. And if you do not recognize that, you are automatically a casualty.
Say it one more time.
Look, that's why we're sure we try to take like it's not a joke. Look, I saw Mr. Dalco.
I already know.
He done popped in here. Look, he wanted to say something. Mr. Dalco, if you want to grace us with your presence, sir, we appreciate you jumping on and secure the bag. This is the man. I mean, we call him the franchise because he is helping teams all over the world. He's on the council for GS Partners. He is leadership council for wealth builders worldwide, 7-figure earner, crushing it. He's securing his bag for his family. So if you want to say a few words and jump in on this conversation, sir.
Hey guys, thank you for inviting me on. Thank you for always posting in the group that this is going to be on. This is fire. I am absolutely lit. I had nothing at all to say. I'm in sponge mode. And then you messed around and said he's securing the bag for his family. And boy, you just lit my fuse. And that's all I want to say is yes, I am securing the bag for my family. All other things considered, I just got off a call with Greg McKay and Finance Parkinson and that crew, and they had me crying, literally crying, because that is the key, is I have a mandate You hear me right now? I have a mandate. My wife and I were talking to this Nigerian gentleman, and he was sharing with us how in Nigeria, they don't have laws for like child support, a lot of civil laws that we have in the United States. They don't have those laws there because he said like if his nephew, like he has a younger brother, and if his younger brother's son, which would be his nephew, was without food and the wife could call anybody in the family and say, young brother didn't provide and the kids don't have any food, the whole senior clan would converge on that household to make sure that child had food, and they wouldn't call him their nephew. If you called your nephew, the nephew would run out in the street crying because it was dishonorable. If you're a senior family member, that child is your son. They didn't even have laws like child support and go to civil court. And no, if his niece, who is legally his niece, were to call from Nigeria right now, she could literally tell people in Nigeria, I can come up with the money because my father lives in the USA and he has a big company, and she would show on the internet who her uncle was. She'd call her uncle her father. He would call and say, yes, that's my daughter. The level of honor that they have for their family drives them to have the work ethic that they have. So I'm gonna tell you right now, there's a mandate on my life. It's not optional. My wife, my kids, and their children, and every generation that breathes the breath of life while I'm here is my responsibility. Mine. That's how big my dream is. It fires me up. I must secure the bag. Back to you, Mr. Taylor.
I don't want to say
Bring a
anything.
tear to my eye. Hold up.
Wow. You know, that just caused me to think about what specifically God had done in orchestrating my cousin and I to be here in Virginia. And everyone else is still up north. You know, imagine where we would be right now had we been still in the same, not saying that it's all about the environment, but the influences.
Play a part.
But it is about the environment, cousin.
It all plays
Because
a part.
It all plays a part.
There were so many, you know, and we often say that a prophet's not accepted in their home because, first of all, we're their children and nephews and cousins and all that stuff. So we're just family.
Right.
But sometimes you have to step out from where you're from in order to launch out to where you're supposed to be. And that's what's happened on this journey with a lot of us, right? Because the psychology, we're talking about psychology of the consumer, right? Well, all of us have a financial blueprint and it comes from somewhere. It comes from our family. It comes from the paradigms that our family had, right? Well, they have a certain way that they bring about money and all that, where, you know, it's holiday time, you spend money. Right. I don't spend a whole lot of money on gifts. I love to give, but I don't have to do it during Christmas time because really that's not really the holiday, the time of the real actual holiday.
That's a whole other topic.
That's a whole other topic. We're gonna talk about that. But
so keep you on topic now.
Right, exactly.
So, you know, and that's where the psychology comes into play. When you understand the system, when you understand the times, when you understand the season, this is not the season to blow money on people, on gifts that they're going to forget about in a year. If you want to give somebody a gift, give somebody an opportunity. Give them an opportunity to make some more money, because when that January comes back around and everybody got to do a New Year's resolution on getting out of the debt that they just kind of created for themselves, right? Why not create something that will last them, as Mr. Dalco said, a lifetime for generations and generations to come?
Pretty much
we got to change. Go ahead, cousin.
Pretty much a gift on giving.
Exactly.
And that's what Ashaar L, you know, I got to mention him. GoldMan. He will be on here just that, look, passive income.
Yes.
That's what he would say, you know, in his stead. Listen, it's always been about passive income, but the reality is hitting hard now. because of where we are economically. And so listen, let's do this. Let's be determined to be that beacon of light for our families and for our communities. You know, to be able to be that example so that future generations don't have to suffer and struggle, you know, like some of the present generation is doing right now. And so we want to make sure that we grab a hold of truly what we have in our hand and that we share it with the masses. Like Mr. Dalco had just said, a mandate, taking this thing seriously. You know, I think about what ET says every single day, wanting freedom as much as you want to breathe, wanting something better for your children and your future grandchildren as much as you want to breathe. Are you think about it, are we taking it that serious?
And cousin, that's where it comes to that fourth quarter mindset, right? Because, you know, I was an athlete. Some people may not know, but you know, track, basketball, and football. I wasn't the greatest athlete on the field or on the court, but my coaches could never dismiss my work ethic, which is what's carried me even for when I do the stuff that I do now. You will not outwork me on the field. When we run a gashers, we running, you know, back and forth, sideline to sideline, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be in the front. It's because it's a mindset. That's what this business is. It's a mindset. 80 to 90% of this business is a mindset. You have to go out and get it. Nobody's going to give it to you.
Even more. It's about
Exactly.
95% mindset, and that's 95% effort will take you a lot further. I read a book. I can't remember the name of it offhand, but it said the only difference between the average person and the successful person is that the successful person is willing to do everything the average person is not on a consistent basis. And after I had a wonderful talk with Mr. Best, Mr. Ty Best himself, and he knew I had a computer background, military background, as well as an analytical background, he said he loves talking to people like me for one reason. We overcomplicate things. We always want to know the ins and out, all this. He was just like, if you could build your dream for yourself by just doing simple steps, what's going to hold you back? And even in his book, what does he say? Once you find a dream, dream bigger. And that's the whole goal of it. And going back to, you know, this whole fourth quarter mindset thing, I've had plenty of talks with Mr. Taylor in the last few weeks about how excited I was, just simply because, you know, everybody's got excited. Oh, Bitcoin's going up, Ethereum's going up, all this. And I'm just like, I told him before Halloween even hit, I was like, yeah, but it's going to have a heavy fall as soon as Thanksgiving and Christmas come around, because the average person is going to want to liquidate assets to buy their family momentary happiness with the idea of gift giving. Whereas, you know, yeah, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to get my family a little something, but what I'm working towards is building them something that'll keep giving them, not only for this current generation we're in, but all of our generations to come. But it just never ceases to amaze me how when you talk to people and really try to like just figure out what it is that makes them tick, everybody is in this whole, oh, well, you know, I can't spare 60, 70 bucks. You know, Christmas is around the corner and I got to get this for this person, this for this person. I'm just like, if I could tell you, I could take that same 60, 70 bucks for you and open up, not only, we'll just start with the 37 new streams of income. That's just, you know, as we like to say, that's just a little appetizer. That's not even the main course. What that gets you is access to information and knowledge. It gets you the ability to be able to call someone up that's in a position that you are not in and figure it out what it is you need to do to get into that position. And if you ask me, $67, $70, that's a small price to pay for what everything this organization gives you. That whole concept of family, I'm closer with some of the people in this call than I am my own blood relatives. And I can't tell you a time that, oh, I haven't called Mr. Taylor at unreasonable hours sometime. I'll admit. But, you know, it's always because I'm looking for something that's, I know it's not obtainable overnight, But if I keep doing those little steps, just tweaking my mindset to just kind of not be that person that's just like, oh, well, he said this opportunity will always be there. I can go handle what I want to handle. And 9 out of 10 times, it's something that doesn't really matter. Because in my personal, if you're not putting money towards your bills or something that's funding your lifestyle, i.e. children, food, gas, or the roof over your head, all that extra money, if you actually sit down and write out a financial spreadsheet of where your money is going, you've been throwing away hundreds, thousands of those little fake green dollars that they give you for hours of your life that you've given up. Only thing we're doing is taking that same mindset, giving you a vehicle that will allow you to become prosperous and earn a residual income off of something you already have been throwing away. We're just asking you to reinvest it into yourself, not into someone else's business. And I say that as a business owner. I started my wife a business March of this year, and we broke even actually 2 months ago from a fresh business. And it was just everything I've learned from speaking with my superiors in the business or my older brothers and sisters in the business, just from simply learning how to stop wasting money, reinvest it in yourself. And it's just fun to see. I've had this conversation with my own mother, actually. I was just like, I don't blame her for not teaching me, the proper way to manage finances. Because when it comes down to it, your family or those people that influence you, they only know what they've been taught. You can't fault them. My mother always told me, we might have been born poor, but if you stay poor after you've experienced the world, that's your fault, not mine. Now, it sounds disrespectful, not gonna lie to you, but if you actually take those words meaning, hey, I don't have the proper tools to teach you what it is that it's gonna take to make you wealthy. But if you can find a way to get those tools, duplicate those tools, and become wealthy, and choose not to do it, that's nobody's fault but your own. And that's all I've been doing. And Mr. Taylor, he'll tell you, I kind of been on the road these last 2 months. And I tell everybody, hey, I've learned how to reinvest in myself and make a few dollars passively. And I don't give out no extravagant amounts. Some of us have had the blessing of talking to Mr. Best, and he can hit you with some numbers that's like, okay, let's reevaluate. What did I go wrong? But, most people will get intimidated by it. Me, I get extremely excited because you're telling me I've managed to get my hands on an opportunity for $70 that can pay me hundreds of thousands of dollars in my sleep. Like, where does that happen? Where does that happen? Don't worry, I'll wait. I got nothing but time. I got another 4-5 hours before I even think about eating dinner. So,
Listen, gosh, your story, I'm sure, is going to inspire so many more people. And congratulations on that business, that your wife is running. And we're just wishing her, great success. And I know you're going to do extremely well, even more so. And we've been hearing your name, Mr. Taylor, when we have our power call celebrating you and the efforts that you're putting into this. It's all a matter of, your goals and how bad you want it. And so that's what I keep in mind every single day, and every time I think about Mr. Dalco, I'm thinking about relaunch every day, press the button, relaunch every day, right? Not depending on the people who came in yesterday, right? Still helping them, but putting more fuel on the fire for those who are running, so those people who are, duplicating, it's all about duplication. Right. And so we're just excited, everybody, about what it is we have. And I don't want to ignore those who have their hands up. Mr.
Right.
Taylor.
They've been like,
they've been waiting patiently. Like, look, I'm here. So what I want to do is I want to bring out right now the first person I see here, Miss Deb Nixon. Come on out. We want to hear from you, sis.
Lauren's sister, LaKeisha.
Yes.
You had to go ahead and break that out like that, for real. Let me just say this. We do have to constantly relaunch because Mr. Dalco, I didn't have an opportunity, of course, to join in this morning, but Mr. Dalco and Mr. Best broke down on this Veterans Day the true meaning of freedom.
Ooh, yes.
And when Mr. Dalco said, this is a time for all of us to really evaluate, what we're doing. Make sure that, and when Mr. Best said, make sure, that you are that kind of leader that you're supposed to be. Are you reaching back? Are you there for your team? One thing I wanted to tell you all is we don't have a team. And no matter how you lead by example, you cannot do it for someone. And the hardest thing for me in my heart was to accept that. You can make the calls, you can reach back, you can say, let's make calls together, let's relaunch, let's do this together. But if your front line's not responding, you cannot change that fact. You got to find new people because you don't have a team. So I want to say this about the bag. When you think about the name Secure the Bag needs to have something secure in it. Well, how do we secure families around the world? 3 ways: health, wealth, and love, and acceptance. So first of all, we know that we're sharing an amazing seed of information worldwide to help families really change their finances and stay plugged into information that is not related to the propaganda of 108 years. We have been conditioned to think that it's Christmas time and by January it's okay to be without lights and without water and struggle for food, but we got something under the tree. We got gifts under the tree now, okay? So what's most important is love. Be with your families, make memories together, bake cookies with your children, like Mr. Dalco said.
I love them cookies.
Be that person that brings your family together and makes a change and makes a difference. And keep sharing this with everybody. And no longer will I get upset that when I'm reaching out to my first line, my second line, my third line, my fourth line, my fifth line, say, let's relaunch. Okay, let's schedule. What can I do to support you? And they don't respond. I need more people. I don't have a team. So if any of you are experiencing that, don't give up, because guess what's around the corner? Our manifestation. And we're about to blow up. If you haven't been seeing the shortness of the news, because we turn on the news for 2 reasons: the weather and to find out what's going on in the financial channel. And cryptocurrency is becoming mainstream, family. It's all over the place. Joseph Haidt knows what he's talking about when he told us our time is coming. Hang in there, family. Hang in there and put the security in your bag. Secure your finances, secure your food, secure your water, secure your family, secure your home, secure your wealth, and let's go. I love y'all.
And Miss Deb Nixon, I'm telling you, whew. And look, the fact that they don't even know we're here yet. Like when they find, like, you hear little things about, oh, this coin, oh, that coin. Wait till they hear about the G999 coin. Like, y'all have no idea. Like,
it's like, what?
Listen.
I love y'all. Thank you so much for everything you do. You're awesome.
we appreciate you, Sister Deb.
Much love.
Come on out, Miss Rashida, the one. Come on out, sis.
Y'all did me wrong putting me behind Deb Nixon. First of all, Dr. LaKeisha informed me that I'm not a millennial. Then you put me behind Dr. You put me behind Deb Nixon.
Look,
it ain't us.
Big pill over there, sneaking in there. Look.
Don't worry, I got your back. Wealth don't discriminate on age.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. See, y'all took me all over the place with this, especially you, Mr. Matthew Taylor. You can take me all over the place. I did not serve. My father did serve and was honorably discharged. United States Air Force personnel, but I did not serve. And it's amazing. I did go take the test and I passed the Air Force test with flying colors, but they told me I need to lose some weight. And I said, no, I'm sorry. I got to go to college. I left, but it's amazing how we ended up in the same spot.
Yeah.
We ended up in the same spot. Those people who went and thought they could be all they could be, they followed that dream. Some of it was mixed with lies, but they ended up here. I followed that dream of college, the historically Black college, and that had some mixed in with some lies, and we all ended up here. We all ended up here, and this is really a blessed place to be. When we look at some of our wealth building family and some of the leaders, I don't know if anybody knows about Venn diagrams, but we all have moved in the same circles, but we have met here. We have all moved in the same circles. It is unbelievable. Mr. Dalco is from a place that's like 15, 20 minutes from where I was born. Sherry Brown is from the same city that I grew up in. She lived in the apartment complex where my cousins lived, and I lived in the apartment complex where her sister lived, but we never met.
That's crazy.
How close life
6
is.
degrees.
I mean,
of
it's
separation.
amazing. Linda Kelly went to college in my city. Never met.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. Mr. Dalco lives in Atlanta. Mr. Best lived in Atlanta. I lived in Atlanta. Sherry lives in Atlanta. We never met. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on, how we moved in the same circles, but we came together here.
Right.
In this place, for this opportunity, for this blessing. And we all see it as a blessing together. None of us are delusional to think that this is something other than a blessing. All of us understand what it is, and all of us are taking advantage of it at the same time. We're going at different paces, but we're all taking advantage of it. We are building wealth for our families, however we can, however we can. And we're loving on each other. We loving on each other. This is amazing. This is amazing. But I'm telling you, y'all took me all over the place. I think, that this dollar that we're talking about is nothing than a glorified food stamp. That $10 food stamp was green. Yeah, we had those. It was green. It's a glorified food stamp. It just buys more. It allows you to purchase more, but nowadays with that food stamp card, you can buy shoes, you can buy gas, you can buy other things with it too. But it's and we have not understood that we were taken out of the fields and into the house. And so our fight to be free has been quelled because we became not just house Negroes, but house everything, because it's Black, white, Hispanic, everybody who is believing in this is living in the house. We do not want to run away. We are like, Master, you sick? I'm sick too. Whatever. It ain't no die, Master. It ain't no try to get free, try to run away, quit to get that stuff no more. It's all about trying to be what they have and stay in that mentality. And you know what? They will send those hounds on you for going back to the student loans. They will send the hound dogs on you. Somebody called me, this was years ago, because I finally paid mine off. Told me, well, I hope you don't have a happy Christmas. And I said, well, I ain't worried about it. I'm Muslim. And hung up the phone. We don't celebrate Christmas.
Well, Dr. Rashida, the funny thing about that
But
whole
y'all
school
have a
system,
beautiful night.
You as well.
Go ahead.
That school system, we
Go
go
ahead,
to
Mr.
school
Joshua.
for,
I want to hear what you had.
what is that, 12 years? You go to school for 12 years to be told you need even more education for a minimum of 2 to 4 more years. What they don't tell you is, they tell you, oh, you can get a job with this degree making 35 to 50,000 a year after you took $120,000 school loan. You graduate, you get your so-called job of your dreams, quote unquote, to where 70% of it goes just to you trying to survive. 30% of it goes just towards, those little rainy days we'll say pop up. That's 100% of what you bring in from your quote unquote dream job. And then you get, good old Sally Mae and what is it, fast food, whatever they call it now, asking for another slice of the pie.
Sally
saying that,
Mae, Fannie Mae, they all
Freddie
got
Mac, look,
May. Freddie
here's
Mac.
and here's the crazy
Ed
part, Josh.
loans.
That was 10 years ago because inflation for the college loan about 15%. So them numbers is low compared to what you just.
Hey, look, man. I went to Duke for my first degree. I went to Alabama State for my second degree. I went to ITT for another degree. I did Thomas Nelson in Virginia for another degree. And I was in a blessed situation. The military paid for me to go to school. But as you know, I saw people constantly putting foot traffic to that financial aid office, worried about, hey, when is my refund gonna happen? When that money gonna hit? And they just trying to use that money that they're getting back just to, live off of. That's not including.
Man, look, you take me back, brother.
Yeah.
Refund days, you stand in line, because we'd be like, oh, refund checks coming.
Yeah.
What we about to do? We ain't do a doggone thing with that.
Work study.
But you get what I'm saying?
Work
Like,
study.
that search
Work
of
like
the American dream, I feel like less and less Americans are living the American dream. Like, I'm not knocking foreigners,
It's a
but if you ask me,
nightmare.
foreigners come here and they truly get a piece of that American dream. They don't have not a care in the world. They'll take any job because they're grateful for it. And to go off what you said, Ms. Rashida, this is just my belief. They got rid of slavery and replaced it with a paycheck. That's just how I feel.
And
Because,
Mr. Moore, you said something very profound.
uh-oh.
Why should this country's people have to pay a debt to get an education for a system they're forcing us to be employed in?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well,
But everybody
Because
in
the school
everybody in the
system,
politics world, right? Their children and grandchildren and all get everything for free. And we were promised with politics that there wouldn't be no more student loans this year. See, everything is a lie.
That's a lie. It's all about them
Not a
getting in
lie.
office.
and see,
Come on.
the school system, I believe, is a warehouse for the children, one, to indoctrinate them and to keep them out of the workforce, because many of the jobs that we have are repetitive and they are not so highly skilled that a child can't do them.
Well,
All right,
see,
look. We ain't even trying to go to the school system. We could talk about the school system. Look. All right,
I'll
I
bring
know
it back
Keith,
home,
look.
Matthew. Here we
Okay.
go, right?
Right.
Here we go. So if you think about the whole mindset of the American society right now, what they ain't really even covered it up. People just don't really go look for the information. When you're born in the US of A, you're given this social security number. Only thing that number identifies is how much the government think you will be worth over X amount of years. They take that number and they pretty much use you as collateral with other countries. Pretty much to say, hey, we want to borrow this much money. This is how many people we got and what their estimated net worth is.
So
And
what happens when they ask for that collateral back?
oh yeah, it's real fun. Around January 21st, I believe is when tax time starts.
yes, go ahead.
Around that time, you expect what, $3,000, and then all of a sudden, government magically places fees that takes that 3,000 to where $800, $1,200, we'll say, is a fair estimate for the single person. And the rest of it goes to pay. What was that number you gave earlier, Mr. Taylor? 28 trillion.
28 trillion and counting.
Yes.
And I work in the computer field. The whole psychology of like the shopping and supply and demand market right now is so funny to me, because I've been hearing just everybody, oh, I can't wait for Black Friday. I can't wait for Black Friday. Well, certain companies have already released their Black Friday deals. Newsflash, When you discount something that was already overly inflated and slap a slight discount on it, you're still paying overpriced. But because people are so blinded and distracted now, they think just because someone says you're getting the deal, that is truly worth it. So it's just fascinating to see, how many people have just been, I won't say blinded, but just are unaware, giving them the benefit of the doubt that, just when someone tells you that, something that glitters is gold, it's not always gold. Because I'm excited for Christmas, but not because of the gifts. Because I
there's
don't know
gonna be
about
some
y'all.
gifts.
Oh yeah,
There's
it's
gonna be some gifts
I
for the
already
wealth
told Mr.
builders.
Taylor. Oh yes, I've been watching Bitcoin fall, and I spoke to 3 people this week who have liquidated hundreds of dollars in Bitcoin just to be able to afford this holiday season. And I'm just like, hey, I'm not here to tell. I'm not a financial advisor. I was like, I worked with Mr. Taylor. I got my Series 663, all that. I understand it. But what I'm here to tell you is that when you fall in with the masses and do what you see everyone else doing, it's going to be, I'm not going to say it's impossible. It's just going to be hard to truly get what you want out of life, because it all goes back to that. What do you think freedom is? Freedom is being able, for me, to be able to live in a system and outside of a system at the same time. I can still live in America, but I don't have to conform to anything, because luckily we live in a country that, money talks.
Right.
And if I can
Come on,
attract enough of
somebody.
that wealth,
Look, I'm gonna come up in here because I've been raising my hand as no protocol. People just jumping in, saying what they want to, when they want to, and how they want to. Joshua, you're amazing. Happy Veterans Day to all of you veterans.
you.
But you know what? I was minding my business, watching this on Facebook in my secret place. And Rashida Wan then said something that brought me up in here today. Look, okay, the non-millennial Rashida Wan brought me up in here when she said, you can buy shoes, food stamps. Can I apply for some food stamps and transfer it into some G999 or something like that? What the what? I just want to know when you start being able to buy shoes and clothes with food stamps. Can anybody answer that question?
Oh my gosh.
I just found out Rena sent her least Gucci bag, so I'm out. I'm a young old school person.
You should have made that up. That's not possible.
Who said it's not possible? Somebody that's on them said it's not possible.
Oh, yes, it is. I went to Payless one time.
Not in California, you can't buy
All right, so we'll say it's based on your state.
Based on your state.
On the state of Florida.
Based on your state.
It's case by case.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
crazy. That's the first time I heard that myself.
EBT.
You go to the store, just talk to your cashier and see what they're willing to do.
For nine food items,
on the door.
You try it.
I saw it on the door at Payless, EBT. And I asked the cashier, what does that mean? She said, we can take food stamps for shoes now. I said,
shut the front door.
Wait, EBT has cash and food stamps on the EBT card. She might mean the EBT cash part.
So, okay, so let me bring this home for everybody.
The EBT is twofold. It's cash and stamps.
I apologize for coming in here and interrupting, but I'm going back on Facebook. Y'all have a great one.
You as well.
Firecracker. It's all good. We appreciate it, Sister Shay.
Let's say something right
You'll have
quick.
everybody in that state down at that store. What? She said I could.
But you know what? EBT been buying a lot. I mean, food stamps been buying a whole lot of stuff
what you say,
for a
Dr.
long
McKnight?
time.
Go ahead, Multiplier. Can everybody
You ain't have to have no permission.
Look,
All right, Multimeyer's up.
Here go the one that you would not expect to bring it all back. Look, check this out, y'all. Not about the food stamps, not about everything that we're talking about is a road leading to the same system, correct? So what we really hear, what we're really expressing is the lack of hope that's around the world. Shout out to the vets. Y'all been out there. Y'all seen the world. You've seen nations that are accustomed to being oppressed, and they don't even question it. And then you come back here and you see a nation that has been under the delusion of freedom, and they're frustrated. So they're arguing over things like 25 cents worth of change, fake money. What we're doing is, in this country, we are told that we're free, and then we're told what to do with it. You get on the television, and it's telling you what to spend your generational wealth on. It's telling you how your culture should behave. It's telling you what to eat and what time to eat it. Okay? Breakfast all day, breakfast between this and that time. All of these things are going along to get you what? Simulated in a delusion of freedom. This is called the land of opportunity, because you have that option. Opportunity, option. This is what we got here in WBW. We are utilizing the system of freedom that is available, but you got to go get it. Ain't nobody gonna come and say, hey, you want your freedom today? Be out there with balloons and champagne. That's not what's gonna happen. This system is built on integrity. Do y'all remember when Alex told us that they set the algorithm of our system on integrity? What does integrity mean? Strength. Strength. So when we say you don't have a team, there's another way that my left-handed mind will filter and say, my team is WBW. My family is WBW. My business is DS Partners, but my team is WBW. That's why I help any and everybody that come to me and ask. I didn't have one of those sponsors that were really plugged in, and I don't have her sponsor is plugged in but not available, right? And then their sponsor is Mr. Delco, the one representative in the U.S. and the council member, right? He does so much. I mean, he answers so, but I'm grown. I have the opportunity to go out and learn things on my own. So we've learned about how the system works through life experience. But have we taken the opportunity to go and look and see how life works when we seize our freedom? I know it all leads back to the money. You know it all leads back to the money. But have we gone and really studied money? What is money? There's nothing to be afraid of. Money used to be a seashell one time. It was a cocoa bean at one time. Money is anything. Money is anything you want to make it, right? So listen, what we got here is a system that is built on integrity. What's a system? A body, right? What's a body got? Parts. I swear to God, yo, I don't want to be the eye when I'm supposed to be the foot. I'm going to be the biggest, baddest foot you've ever seen. That's why WBW is my team, my family, my body. This is a system. We have a system that the entire business partnership does not have. We are privileged, privy to the WBW system. What is the WBW system? It is a faith-based system in freedom. We believe in freedom. That's why we all gather here under every single color-coded slave there is, every religion there is, every nationality that you can think of on one accord. What's our accord? We believe that the world is not just allowed to, but is inherited freedom. It's their right to freedom. So we've come together to do everything in our power and our will. Like I know for a fact, everybody on this panel is willing to die for this fight. We ain't scared. We know that, look, I said 50 years ago one time, but the truth is just 15 years ago, for us to be out here doing what we doing and being who we are, baby, they would have been, come here. This ain't even your house. Come here out my house, I'm gonna put you in one of my other prisons. Because what 2020 taught me was they could use that TV and turn your home into a jail cell, baby. They don't have to come and ship you off. They ain't gotta they ain't gotta take you nowhere. That TV will have you go wherever they want you to go. They let that TV point you in a direction. That's the issue at hand, for real, for real. If we can get the people to have hope again, it's gonna come behind them gathering and uniting outside of the television. Because when you go watch Real Housewives of Atlanta and Love and Hip Hop, and then you go to try to be around people and y'all emulating that you just saw on TV, what you gonna get? What you see in the world. But when you come in here and you watch us and you plug into us, and then you go out and try to be around other people, what you gonna do? You're gonna light them up. All those people that was sitting for days and hours watching Real Housewives of Atlanta, and they're arguing that stuff. One of us, in the midst of them, changes the whole peridium. That's why it's so important for us to be continually self-building and plugged in, because we are in a system that is in the world, but not of the world. Shout out to Brother Joshua Moore. And thank you all again for your daggone service. Because what you were doing was freedom fighting. You didn't know that you was freedom fighting. They told you this wasn't what it was about. You didn't ask no questions. Okay, I'll fight some freedom. I want to fight for freedom. People that are seeking freedom, we inherently cannot seek it just for ourselves. I got into this game wanting money, knowing that what money was, knowing that you needed to have money in order for you to have freedom. You had to buy your freedom. What was the problem? Why when we got emancipated? It didn't say we abolished slavery. They emancipated it. What does emancipate mean? We took something away. We separated something. So what did they separate? Right. The people. The people. They came out and said, okay, now we got white, we got black, we got red, yellow, brown people. And then they decided how they were going to treat each color of those slaves. Because that's what the truth is. Everybody's been a slave. The white slaves were supposed to be treated better than the black slaves. Everything in between is how we got to where we are right now. The truth is, you lift up the veil, we all slaves. We all N-words now. All right. Oh.
Look, she dropped a handful
got
there.
my foot over here moving, boy. I'm up here like, oh my God.
We'll break down everything she just said.
Look, all I'm gonna say is this: they don't even need big TV screens anymore, because I've been in the classroom. This generation,
right, right,
that's the information highway in their hand,
right there. And I'll be like, yo, don't let this thing brainwash you, because it's teaching you not to think for yourself. That's why we read the books Think and Grow Rich. You have to be a thinker. You have to think outside of the box. We know somebody that was a revolutionist who went against the thing, against the status quo.
That's right.
I was reading a book, and the very last book of that book talks about there's an hour of temptation. I got to do some studying on that, but I believe that people are falling in this hour of temptation we ain't gonna go there. So all I'm gonna say is you need to really use this psychology of the mind and realize that this is warfare. What you're doing, what we're doing, the reason why we're talking about the fourth quarter mindset is this: you have to be proactive in wealth building, which includes spiritual, which includes health, which includes financial, all of these different aspects. You have to be proactive. Most people are reactive, and that's why they end up reacting to a system that's going to literally take over everything.
Right. That's right. And Mr. Taylor, I see that also Ms. Renee Gann has her hand up, and
yes,
we're
ma'am.
gonna wrap it up after that. Come on out, Ms. Gann, sis.
You guys, oh my gosh. Matthew Taylor, you just said that fourth quarter mindset. Make that book happen, bro. Make it happen.
I'm working with them on it. It's gonna happen.
Okay, let's get this thing. Joshua Moore, you listed what 4 or 5 universities or colleges, trade schools that you went to on top of the military and all the work that you've done. Congratulations. I salute to you for your services and all the other veterans here today. But I want to address something that what we are all doing, starting with Mr. Best on down, this whole system, the solution that we have, it's really almost like reverse engineering the mind, right? For all those who went to college, does anyone here know what an actuarium does for a living? What the word actuarium means?
Yes.
Numbers.
Predict.
Oh, thank you.
This is Evelyn. This is Evelyn from Newark. The actuaries predict what you're worth, what you're worth at the end of your employment or when you die. Before you die, they predict how much you're worth.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that eye-opening definition. And I'm going to take it someplace else. The predictions. Think about anybody that you know that have gone to college and finished early. If they didn't know how, wasn't able to finish early, not only would they have not, the universities would not have allowed them. So when you think about going to college, you're getting your bachelor's, you're getting your master's, you're getting your doctorate, your PhD, all those things. Every course in college, they tell you you need 4 years for your bachelor's, another 4 years for your master's, another 4 years for your PhD, another 4 years for your doctoral. That's 12 years of your life. That's over 12 years of your life with debt attached. When they say what Miss Evelyn just said, they predict financial mathematics statistics of theories for risk and potential events for businesses and clients to develop policies to maximize costs. Do you realize why an actuarium was ever hired to say what a university's courses and how many years, not only how many years it should take you to get a degree, how much it should cost you? It wasn't even about you. It was about those professors keeping a job for them 4 years, for them 8 years. So they got their tenure, what? They get to keep a job for life. They got benefits and income based on what you do or don't do. And they sold you that dream. And now, as you see what you have in your hands, with or without a degree, it wasn't required. Not that it's not important. Education is vital, but it's how they use it to control what you're worth, where you choose to go to school, where you choose to live, where you choose to do everything in your life. And that title, actuarium, it predicts the warranties on your car, the warranties on your home, and how and when you should be educated and how long. That's what they want you to believe. And it doesn't have anything to do with your ability to learn, to absorb the information that is required for you to take it and apply it. And we are in an opportunity, a community, the wealth builders community. When we get this knowledge for free, please don't take it for granted, because freedom is not free, but the education, if you apply the knowledge, may it set you free. May it set you free. May it set you free, guys. Come on. Let's make this happen. Thank you. That's all I have to say. You may have the mic back.
I got to get a snaps. Y'all give her some plus signs. She pretty much wrapped.
Look, she made me stand up.
Awesome.
She wrapped up the whole thing because it's all about education, the right education, and what you do with it.
Yes.
What you do with it. You have to be in the seat and controlling, how you're going to navigate through this world. Otherwise, someone else is going to navigate it for you. So your eyes have to be open and the veil has to be removed so you can know the truth, and the truth can set you free.
Every time.
The truth and nothing but the truth that will set you free. And then we hear that often in movies and media, but and they were telling you right from the very beginning, it's the truth. And what do they say in that movie? You can't handle the truth. Oh, so you know what? I'm done.
Look. We ain't trying to go. Look, that's a whole nother. Because remember, they're giving you some truth, mingle with a lie.
And when you finally open it, that veil, you take that veil off, you realize you have been lied to. You have been lied to, and it puts the shackles on you, believing, oh, I've got to do this for 4 years, and I've got to stay on this job for this many years before I get a promotion. When you have an opportunity to promote yourself, to pay yourself, to free yourself, come on.
I mean, come on. You didn't even know about the mandated jab until your mama told you, right? Right? And then what you do? You went and told Josh, right? It didn't affect you until you knew, bro. It literally did not affect you. That junk is imaginary, man. I swear, this whole spring collection of Bidens, I be cracking up every time you get up there. I call it the spring and the fall collections. I figured it out. The president is a face for this U.S. corporation, the same as Colonel Sanders is for KFC. It's just business, baby. But you got to know what business is for you to be able to run your business, mind your business. You got to know what business is. The first thing they said when I went in to start my first small business was research your business, research your industry. When I went to college, the first thing they said, well, this was a trade college, NASCAR Tech. They said, research the industry and never quit, because there's always new things developing. And how can you stay ahead of the game if you ain't even caught up yet? That's what we do when we plug in here. We stay ahead of the game. You see that?
It's a delusion. It's a delusion, sis. You know it's a delusion. It's a slavery delusion.
It's images. If I don't accept it, it ain't for me.
Stop singing about.
Look,
Stop singing about those shackles being on your feet and take them off. Take them off. Stop singing about them shackles on your feet and take them off.
Mr. Taylor, what were you gonna say?
I would say the key word that Malta Meyer said was image, right? And Bob Proctor talks about this all the time. The reason why there's a picture, a pixel, is because we move off of pictures. Sounds are great. Sounds affect us. It goes into the heart. It causes us to respond reactively, all that. But the power of seeing something with your eyes, the visual stimuli, it does something to the mind, right? And so most people don't realize this, but this a lot of times is thwarting your imagination. It's hindering you from being able to create. There's a book that I use, right? I'm just call out the Bible. Okay, get over. All right. Okay. It talks about we were created in an image, right? So we have the same ability that our creator has. But because we've been duped into thinking that we have to do as the world, we don't create anything anymore. And we wonder why we feel like we're behind where we are in this fourth quarter.
The reason why we're not creating anymore, Mr. Taylor, here it is. Because we're not thinking for ourselves anymore. We're not thinking
at all.
Can you say that for the people in the back?
Smartphones.
Can you say that for the people in the back, please?
We're not thinking because the phones are becoming smarter than us.
Why do you think AI is here to think for you? I'm done. All right, listen.
Listen to the conversation. Why y'all do that? We got a 9 o'clock. We trying to get to
music. Roger Williams on the panel. Play the shop music.
Look, the mic is obliterated, okay?
Listen. What we have to tell you is this. The plan is here. The better way is already available. And many of us are on this journey. We are inviting you to take a seat, to get educated. And more information about this better way is going to be shared tonight at 9 o'clock p.m. 9 o'clock. So for everybody that's tuning in on Facebook, everybody here on Zoom, if you're a guest, if you have no clue as to what we've been talking about over the last almost hour and a half, we've been going in. We ain't been talking about everything. But we desire, listen, you have to want freedom for yourself. First of all, you have to understand, and we've been talking about, how we've not been thinking for ourselves. And it's a business. As soon as you are born into this world, you are an employee. You get this anyway.
You're a transaction waiting to happen.
Get on the platform. We encourage you to be on the platform, on the Zoom platform tonight at 9:00 p.m. Matter of fact, be there 8:50 p.m. Eastern time. Be ready. Okay, notepad and pen if you like, because there's going to be a presentation that's going to break it down, help you to understand the better way, a legitimate way, a more simple way, so that you can get on the pathway to freedom. And following simple steps. If you follow the steps, do what the wealthy do. Don't do what they say. Do what they do. Okay? And so this is going to give you the control that you need. And once you get the control back, you can get your thinking back. Get the control back, then get your thinking back. That's the process. You have to be deprogrammed. There's going to be some deprogramming. So just prepare yourself, and you're going to face that battle inside. Somebody's, what you've been told all of your life turned out to be untrue.
Reverse engineering that mind.
You got to reverse it. And you're going to face that battle inside.
And outside.
And outside. So just be.
But it all starts.
That's
you don't
it.
free the mind, you can't gain any other type of freedom.
That's it. So with that being said, family, we thank you so very much for joining us here.
I don't want you guys to shut the call down too fast. That's how the pop into last minute.
On here is the best.
Don't pop the call down too fast. Because you guys are securing the bag. I don't like to mess with young folk because I don't know what you guys are talking about half the time anyway. So, but I said, hey man, secure the bag going on. Let me go in there and pop in and say hello to him anyway. Hey, good evening, Mr. Dr. McKnight. How you doing?
Good, very good. We're glad. Look, you're here now. Look, we're excited even more.
Look, I'm not gonna keep you guys. I don't have. Look. I hate to pop it on the end of a conversation, start throwing stuff around. So I don't even know what you guys been talking about, except I heard you guys say the consumer mind, the psychology consumer mindset. I said, oh boy, okay. I said I should have been on this topic from the beginning, but I was tied up. I've been on the phone all day, so it ain't like it's anyway. Look, guys, there's so many things going on right now. I don't even know where to start, and so I missed every week. Your timing of your program every week, I said, I'm gonna be on just security badge, just hear these young folks talk about, so I can find out and get in on the game. And every look I look, it'd be 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock every week because I'm on the phone. Okay, especially that time. Or you right at the end of my nap time too. So, but I ain't had a nap today. But if there's anything I can add or anything you want me to comment on, Dr. McKnight, I will. I'll take 3-4 minutes and comment on something or give them a little picture of where we're going. Let me say this, folks, for the young folks who are listening, I got exposed to this industry at your age. I was 28 years old. And I'm telling you, it's made all the difference in the world of my life. I thank God every day that somebody at 20 years old stopped me and took me down this road that's less traveled, especially at that time. We celebrate the entrepreneur today. We celebrate having a home-based business today. That was not celebrated in 1983. So I realized how lucky I was in 1983 when somebody showed me an alternative to working a job for 40 years that the average person could take and build financial independence. And as a result, my wife did retire at 32, and I retired at 40, 26 years ago. And now you're here now, and in your fingertips, you have the phone that's more powerful than any tool we had in 1983. Just a smartphone itself. That you got a business that you can build worldwide, where in 1983, our business was built locally, and if you got in your car on the weekend, you had a business out of town. And now the day you sign, you got a business in 150 countries. You pay $49, you got an income from 30 countries. Okay, this is hard to fancy. It's so far outside the box. Now you guys think it's commonplace, like, hey, this is just the way it is. No, this is unique in every way. So see this thing big, and as Dr. McKnight said, and be prepared to fight those battles outside and inside, as Brother Matthew Taylor just said, because that's the battle. We're not doing brain surgery. It's not difficult. So what is the challenge? The challenge is you're trying to undo 25, 30, 40 years of conditioning, okay, that was designed to make people mediocre financially and never pursue the gifts that God put inside of all of us. That's all I had.
Look, that's how you wrap it up. Look, thank you, Mr. Best. Look, on that note, let's clap it up because that was
And no following that one.
All right. I had no follow-up.
Thank you so much, Mr. Best.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Best. And be on the platform, everybody, 9:00 p.m. You want to go to goldrocks.info, get the password from the person who invited you here tonight. Be on there, learn about that better way. Awu family, and God bless.
Awu,
family,
and
love
salute
you.
to all the vets again. Appreciate y'all service. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.